Hello, my name is Jacob. I am joined by my good friend Michael Walsh, aka Movie Mike Reviews, for our last awards predictions video of the year. Appreciate anyone who's watched and enjoyed our videos this year. I know I've been a little inconsistent. I haven't done reactions and stuff to everything, but sometimes you watch an award show with friends. You don't want to be the arsehole saying, "Wait, let me set the camera up." You just want to enjoy it. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing Oscar reactions because I'm watching it with like 5 people, and I don't want to ruin their fun time by like saying, "Wait, we've got to film this, bro." But we'll see.
Nah, just Instagram live stream the whole time. You're just holding a phone and you just...
Yeah. Just record the reactions on my phone for the contentious categories. And it's interesting because a lot of categories do feel kind of set in stone, as it often is this year. And a lot of the categories I feel the most up in the air about are all the ones that involve Anora.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Fair. And we'll get to each individual one. So it's interesting because we have to look at it as predicting, you're predicting each individual category and you can look at precursors and stuff. But you also have to look at it like as a package, You're like, if I think this movie's winning this, then it should win this. And like
some other things as well.
So the way you look, sometimes if you're betting against a movie somewhere, you have to bet against it somewhere else and vice versa. So it's interesting. I'm interested to see what you have. I feel like we're going to be pretty similar, but and usually the shorts are what make or break you in Oscar predictions anyway, if you're playing purely for points. But let's get stuck into it. This won't be as long and rambly as our nomination predictions videos. Starting from the top. Sorry, I'm not doing the let's start from the below the line categories to keep you watching the whole video. We know what you're here for. We're starting with Best Picture. I think it's come down to a 2-horse race. Yep. Between Anora and Conclave, which is interesting. Good on Conclave, because that's kind of been sitting in the middle of the pack in our perceptions for the whole year, but it's just done a little stealth mode campaign to get itself in a genuine position to win. What are your thoughts on Best Picture right now?
Best Picture is really interesting because we've got two front runners, but they're both also really soft front runners. The last couple of years, we had really strong front runners, or like it felt like there was more of a general consensus. Whereas now it's kind of like, Anora, if it gets in, if it wins, great. I've currently got it predicted to win.
Same. I'm with you. I know the Conclave Hive is very up and about, but I'm not. I've basically had Anora predicted the whole season, aside from like a week where I got really scared and switched it to Amelia Perez. But I'm glad those days are over.
I had the Brutalist for the longest time, but and look, the Brutalist still took Globe Picture, and we'll get into some categories where the Brutalist is more likely to win later. But I think Anora on a preferential ballot,
and PGA is the key.
PGA and DGA and WGA, like it's got that broad guild support. The fact that it didn't win anything at SAG,
it's not good.
Is not super strong. That doesn't bode well, and it also blanked the Globes. So that's why I say it's a soft front runner in terms of it's weird because normally a lot of the things that we'd expect the front runner to have, Anora doesn't, but it also has a lot of the things that we would expect it to have. So it's this interesting kind of shifting thing. But I think Anora is what I've currently got picked, but I've got Conclave at second, and again Conclave. One BAFTA, one SAG Ensemble, and that's usually a killer combination. But I'm also just struck by the fact that Conclave missed director and it missed cinematography. And so it's weaker in those areas, whereas Anora won DGA, so it's very strong with the director's branch. And I also think that just at this stage, Sean Baker is someone who's established himself, and whereas we know that the BAFTAs just love Edward Berger. They gave All Quiet on the Western Front the win. They've given Conclave the win.
Don't get me wrong. SAG Ensemble and BAFTA, good combo to have. But I think there are reasons you can justify Conclave winning those and not the Oscar for both. Because BAFTA, obviously, British film, and they love Edward Berger. And then SAG, I think Anora's not that out and out of a front runner that it had to win that, and Conclave really makes sense as a SAG Ensemble winner. That is the biggest ensemble.
Well, that's the thing. Anora has a good ensemble, but it's not a massive ensemble.
I would have voted for Anora for the record.
Yeah,
but,
and I think Anora, it's a good ensemble. That's why it was nominated in ensemble. It's not to say that it's not an ensemble film, but I think that Conclave was just the more obvious best ensemble winner because that film is such an ensemble film, kind of in its DNA.
But whichever wins, we can look back and say that made sense. Anora, obviously, the PGA, DGA, WGA combo is huge, the guild support. And then if Conclave wins, we can look at it and say, oh, it's like a Coda or an Argo. It just needs a screenplay and, people love it enough.
Or a Spotlight.
But in the years, or even a Parasite. No, Anora would be a Parasite or a Spotlight even.
Yeah, Anora would be more like Parasite because if it gets director and screenplay and...
But Anora's still interesting because its packages, all of its categories don't feel certain. I don't think it has a single guaranteed win.
Anora or Conclave?
Anora. Anora. Whereas Conclave has at least one.
It has adapted screenplay.
And it feels pretty good for editing too.
And I give it and honestly, editing is not a terrible correlatory with picture.
Yeah, it's not like it doesn't happen all the time, but Anora's not like neither of them are super flashily edited, but Conclave does make sense as the winner. So yeah, it's interesting, and I genuinely think Anora could win anywhere from like 0 to 4 or 5 awards. I think. And it could honestly win picture and nothing else. It could do what it did at Critics' Choice. It would be insane, but it's not outside of the realm of possibilities. Am I predicting that? No. But it's really interesting.
I think Anora, I would say actually at this point that Anora is pretty locked for original screenplay. I don't think that A Real Pain is going to...
It could.
It could, but it didn't win WGA. It didn't win Critics' Choice. It didn't... I think Anora is fairly safe.
It has been kind of crazy weak in screenplay, though.
It's been one. I mean, look, Substance took Critics' Choice, so maybe. Yeah. But we'll see.
I think. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to screenplay, Anora Best Picture. That's what we think. What would you vote for? What's your Best Picture if you were picking the
Doom
ballot?
Part 2.
Doom Part 2. Yep. Nickel Boys for me.
And then Brutalist, and then probably Nickel Boys.
I'm rooting for Anora here, but Nickel Boys I think is the best film there.
I'm someone who I really enjoy Anora, but it wasn't it just missed my top 10 for the year. I think that there are just some stronger films this year, but it's also not it's not a bad film. It's just not one that I was blown away by. In a way that I love Florida Project and I'm a big fan of Red Rocket, but I just found that Anora didn't quite hit me in the same way that those two did.
And look, it won't be the first time that a director is recognized for a film that's not their greatest film, but I still think Anora is an incredible film. And again, my second favorite of the nominees, it's in my top 10 of the year. So I hope it goes all the way. All right, Best Director. Now, this is another one where no one swept all the precursors. Brady Corbet won more. But Baker would won arguably the most important one, which is DGA, which almost always correlates to an Oscar win. That's all it won, he won the Indie Spirit, but not that really has a bearing on the Oscars.
And
I guess it does show American industry support. Palme d'Or, no, and I guess the director's branch correlating with Cannes helps. But again, everyone's voting on this. But you'd think if Anora's winning picture, it would make sense to win. Brady Corbet probably makes more sense on paper in terms of what the film is and what the film does.
Yep.
And he's got, he won the BAFTA, he won the Globe. But I don't know. DGA rarely goes rogue. I can't think of an example ever that DGA does someone that nobody else does.
Yeah,
and
nothing
that's what the case will
is
be
coming to mind
if Sean Baker doesn't win this. So that's what I'm predicting, but I'd give it maybe a 65-35. I think Corbet is a strong chance to win also, and no one else.
I'm going for Corbet.
You're predicting Corbet?
I'm predicting Corbet.
Still not letting go of the Brutalist.
Not letting go of the Brutalist. And
that could happen.
I think partly it's because I do think as people are filling in a ballot, the thing with the DGA is that they're voting on one category, which is director. And also a lot of them know Sean Baker. He's a director that's established himself, whereas Brady Corbet, I think a lot of them are look, he'll get his flowers at some stage if he keeps making films like The Brutalist. Whereas I think Academy voters, that broader kind of branch, that broader group, are going to be filling in their ballots and they're going to be yep, I'm going to give Corbet director, I'm going to give Baker screenplay, and then I'm going to give Baker picture. Because that's the kind of the big career win is he gets best picture. Let's give him screenplay because screenplay makes sense. But director, I think Brutalist is just more of a director's film. And so I think the broader Oscar voter body is going to go for that. I think the fact that he won the BAFTA for it is fairly telling, and the Globe. So I've gone for Corbet in director, but again, I would not be shocked if Sean Baker wins for Yeah, for Honora. And like I'd be very happy if we can then say Academy Award winner Sean Baker. That is
exactly.
a cool
That's
thing
the
to be able
thing.
to say.
And between the two movies, like I like Honora more, but I would vote for Corbett in director based on what the movies are. But again, not going to say no to Sean Baker getting his flowers. He's one of my favorite filmmakers, and everything you just said has almost like convinced me to switch to Corbett. But I think I'm going to stick with Baker. I'm not saying any of my predictions in this video are locked in. They are all subject to change until the morning of the Oscars.
On the movie Mike
I don't
reviews.
care if it's public.
Mine are. I'm locked in.
You changed half of your like Globe predictions after we did a video. I think like
but that's because I hadn't put them out publicly.
Yeah. My videos are not public.
If you go on the Movie Mike Reviews Facebook, you will see my they're locked in. They're there. I submitted this to someone else that's like running an Oscars pool. Like I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
Yeah, so compelling cases for both. I'm going for Baker just based on the best picture and just a stats thing, but Corbett does make a lot of sense in the context of the race and what the movies are. But I think if they're voting for the person, then I think Baker's more likely to have endeared himself more to voters. Like you've seen people maybe have complaints that Corbett's a little pretentious in the way he talks, and Baker's been giving really great speeches. I mean, I thought Corbett gave a great speech at the Globes too, but
Baker's speech at the Indie Spirits was fantastic.
Goddamn right. And I hope he gets that platform on the big stage, whether it's for screenplay or director, to champion indie
or
film
editing. Maybe he gets editing, you know?
No way. I mean, it'd be awesome. Again, I would vote for it. But all right, let's move on to Best Actor. I think this is just going to be Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody.
Yeah. You can let SAG cloud your judgment with Chalamet. Chalamet was always going to win that.
Yeah. Well, so SAG didn't like The Brutalist.
Yep.
Brody was the only nominee of The Brutalist at SAG, whereas SAG loved A Complete Unknown. That's where we first saw Monica Barbaro show up, and it got ensemble, and that's when we really knew that A Complete Unknown was going to be as popular as it was. But I'm sorry, Brody's not losing this. I think that, and honestly, I think Chalamet's speech at the SAG wasn't a bad speech, but I think it probably is what a lot of voters were thinking when they were looking at this. They went, Chalamet will be one of the greats, so we're going to award him for another film that's more deserving.
Yeah, and also it's
to say that his performance as Bob Dylan is not good. It is good, and I think it should be recognised that Timothée Chalamet currently is the lead in 2 Best Picture-nominated films. He carries Dune Part 2 and A Complete Unknown. He is one of the greats, but I'm sorry, he needs to eat a bison liver and shiver in the cold, and finally he'll win his after another 6 nominations.
Yep, he'll win it when he's like 40 after trying his heart out for it, getting desperate.
When he's 40, maybe he'll finally be able to grow a proper mustache.
I think this will be Brody. The Oscars are not afraid to give it to the same person multiple times. Just look at Frances McDormand and the way people look at it and talk about that performance.
Recently
like
they're happy to give people multiple wins. So
I'll be surprised if Chalamet wins this, but he is the number 2. Who would you vote for in this category?
I'd go for Brody.
Yeah, Coleman Domingo for me, but Brody,
I'd also
I'll be very happy with Brody
Sebastian
winning.
Stan is my second.
He's my second favorite.
The fact that he got in, that was one of my favorite things, and I'm so stoked that we're getting Oscar clips, which means that we'll get a clip of him at the Oscars.
As Trump, make everyone watch
Stan.
it. Yeah,
we stand Stan.
We do stand. Although, having now seen Queer since our previous video, I'm very upset that Daniel Craig didn't get nominated because I think he smokes everyone. But what are you going to do? All right, Best Actress. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I think probably the hardest to call of the 4 acting races, even though Demi Moore has mostly swept. I mean, look, you got to agree this is the least locked up of the 4.
No, I'm.
What is?
Well, as in, like, of the 4, like, yeah, sure, of the 4, it's the least locked in, but I still think it's pretty much a lock.
All right, so you're predicting Demi Moore?
Yeah.
I'm predicting Mikey Madison. That's one of my no guts, no glory picks. Right. Yeah. I think if you're following this, you probably know the cases for both of them, but I'm backing in BAFTA here.
Yeah, but, like, The Substance wasn't in picture, and Honora was. Yeah. And so Mikey winning over Demi there just made sense. Like, I was not at all shocked that Mikey won the BAFTA.
But I mean, they still liked The Substance. They still nominated it for a lot of tech categories.
Yeah, they still liked The Substance. But the fact that it's SAG, which had more Honora Love, was in ensemble, was in supporting actress, whereas Substance only had actress, and she won out there.
But I just SAG are normies. SAG love a narrative.
SAG, they gave a win to a horror performance. That's not normie.
No, but like that is like nominating for Demi Moore. It's like the career narrative thing. It's like we know you, we like you, we're friends with you. They're not.
Well, we know you, we like you, but also like this is, and I get it's the narrative, but also it's an incredible.
I'm not saying
performance.
it's not Oscar bait. It's not Oscar.
It is.
It's the furthest thing from Oscar bait.
Yeah.
But I do think if you're looking objectively, what's the best performance of the year? It's Mikey Madison. And
No,
look, that's
it's
just
Demi
me
Moore.
bias.
It's so much more physical and emotional than like I'm not saying that Mikey Madison isn't a good performance, but I think that there are a dozen other actresses that could have given the performance that Mikey Madison gave, and I can't think of many people that could do what Demi Moore did in The Substance.
Yeah, but again, I'm comparing to Emma Stone from last year. Won the BAFTA, not a lot else. Beat people who had better narratives for a performance where she does it all. And I'm talking like, you know, the nudity, the sex work angle.
Yeah.
The
Which
fact
Demi
that
Moore
the
also
character
does.
is the
she does
movie.
the nudity, she does the prosthetics.
Yeah, but
she
she's
runs
also,
around as a hunchback.
You know, she there are sections of the movie where she's not there. She is like the lead, but it's more a shared thing with Margaret Qualley, whereas Honora, like Mikey Madison, is the movie. And again, if I'm playing it safe, I'm predicting Demi Moore here based on the sweep, but I'm going for slight bit of hope dicting with Madison, obviously being my favorite. But Honora winning Best Picture helps. And I also think like the substance in relation to Honora at the Oscars, I think it's probably the same as the BAFTAs because they have a Best Picture 5. Like so the substance probably was 6 or 7
and
there.
Look, there's also a part of me that goes, it was the same logic that ended up being false, and I'm willing to own that in terms of the whole Angelina Jolie versus Mikey Madison. But a newcomer just hasn't won Best Actress in so long. It's been 10 years. The last was Brie Larson for Room. And so I think that...
But when's the last time a newcomer was the lead in a Best Picture movie as a female?
That was nominated?
That was like in the conversation to win.
I mean, would you say Lily Gladstone?
It's the strongest... And she didn't win, shit.
No, she didn't win, but... and that's what I'm saying. She didn't win. So that would say that Mikey Madison doesn't win because Mikey Madison... We're comparing people to... Yeah,
but again, I think that Mikey Madison, the performance is just so much more in your face. Again, Gladstone doesn't have as much screen time as the performance that beat her and everything. Has more of a narrative, but they just went for the more central performance in the movie that was closest to Best Picture. Like Poor Things was probably number 2 for Best Picture that year. Again, I'm not trying to talk you out of Demi Moore. If you're playing it safe, and usually I do play it safe, but this year I'm trying to take a couple picks to get an edge.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible for Mikey Madison to win. There's definitely a way, and if it happens, then we go, cool, well, there is precedent. Brie Larson's the precedent. It's just that there's more precedent for more. No pun intended.
Yeah, but if Madison wins, you got to start listening to me on this shit because same reason I predicted Emma Stone last year. You know, I think it is a pretty similar correlation.
Well, we're both wrong and Fernando Torres wins.
That could happen.
Exactly.
That could happen.
I know.
I don't think it will, but like if I'm Still Here is going to perform well anywhere.
She's won the only precursor she was nominated for.
Exactly.
So she's 1 for 1, which is a pretty good track record.
The voters would have all watched it, and again, it's one of those performances that if you watched it, how could you not love it? She is incredible in that movie.
And she carries the film, and she's the majority of the film. If we want to talk about who's the majority of the film, so
that is one that would be,
and there's the narrative as well. Like,
it would be shocking, but not surprising. Like it would be crazy if it happened, but it would also make complete sense.
But so was I'm Still Here getting into Best Picture. Like, so. Who knows, man? Who knows?
And if voting was a bit later, it probably would have gotten more nominations. It probably would have gotten screenplay, maybe even director.
I reckon it would have edged out Mangold for director. Surely. Yeah, surely.
We can only dream. But it's an interesting one. But this is definitely one of my no guts, no glory picks. But again, I think BAFTA so often gets this category right with nothing else, and that's because I think like the Oscars,
all the
they
people
don't
that are
care
nominated
as
at
much
BAFTA
about
are also
narratives.
nominated at the Oscars.
Yeah,
because like Joanna Scanlon won.
Last year, a lot of them were. So I'm just this is my Emma Stone correlation, which again doesn't always come off, but usually BAFTA's more reliable than SAG when it comes to Best Actress, specifically Best Actress.
2 years ago,
Everything Everywhere, Michelle Yeoh, but her movie won Best Picture.
Yes,
The Substance isn't winning Best Picture.
No, it's not.
So it's you make a strong case, but if you're playing it safe, listen to Mikey. If you want to like try and win Gold Derby, listen to me. You know, you win or come like
also,
2000.
2022 when Jessica Chastain won for Eyes of Tammy Faye. Who else was nominated that year?
I don't even fucking remember.
Like, because yeah, that was a weird year. Anyway,
Yeah. Also, one other thing I will give in Demi Moore's favor is the makeup thing. That's big.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
ignoring
winning
that.
makeup. It's winning makeup.
Yeah.
Because the thing, Poor Things won makeup, and so Emma Stone winning made sense.
But the makeup wasn't on her. But still, yeah.
Yes, it
was. She had some, but not like prosthetics.
I mean, she had wig.
Yeah, she had hair.
Black wig.
She did have hair,
and
as most people do.
And there was definitely makeup. She had funky eyebrows and everything.
So again, I think even like Demi Moore's probably more likely to win than Madison, but I'm choosing to predict Madison to try and get an edge, and I think there's enough evidence there.
So you can edge all you like, buddy.
I love it. Oh, brother, watching Honora, I'm always edging. All right, supporting actress now, finally. Zoe Saldana. I don't think there's much to talk about here.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
No, I mean, look, she's good in the movie, but the less we talk about Emilia Perez, the better. The spoilers are Ariana Grande, but really, she won nothing. So is she the spoiler? Is it Isabella Rossellini because they fucking love Conclave?
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly,
Saldana is going to win this.
If Rossellini wins, then Conclave takes picture.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Oscars have had the most time to absorb the Emilia Perez controversy more than anyone. So if they do go cold on it, like if anyone goes cold on it, it's them. But I still just think Saldana is being viewed as separate from the movie and just will win. Yeah, it's a crime that this is not Felicity Jones, who is by far the best performance in that category.
Easily.
Yep. All right.
I'm a Grande head, but Jones is incredible.
Over Jones? All right, you're the brutalist guy. All right, supporting actor.
Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, I don't think that's it, right? We don't have to talk. Sweep.
Yeah, no, it's Kieran Culkin. He swept everything. He didn't even show up to something, and he won. Like,
which one didn't he show up for?
BAFTAs.
Yeah,
he didn't show up for BAFTAs. Eisenberg accepted it on his behalf.
He likes hanging out with his kid.
Yeah, he's a good dad.
I'm excited to see if he'll finally be earnest in his speech.
Maybe. Or maybe he'll just talk about the fact that he's holding a, naked gold man for a while.
Yep, probably. Okay, original screenplay. If you can't tell by now, I'm all in on Honora, so that's what I'm predicting.
So am I.
Yep.
And I've been predicting Honora here all year. Same. I'm like, this is the one that just makes the most sense.
I mean, to the point where, for a while it felt more likely than director. Now I feel like they're about the same. Like, I feel like it has been weak.
Yeah.
It hasn't. All it really won was WGA, which it did beat A Real Pain there, which is important because that's probably the biggest threat to it. But A Real Pain beating it in BAFTA, despite Honora being in picture there, losing the Critics' Choice to The Substance. People have been looking for alternatives to it, and like The Substance makes sense as something that would win. They like genre movies with original concepts.
And Anatomy of a Fall winning as well recently, like, shows that they're willing to go for scripts that are written by people who are non kind of English speaking as well. Like, so A Real Pain does make sense. They like a la like an American Fiction type thing. They like a wordy movie. Yeah. I mean, if A Real Pain can win these two and not have a Best Picture nomination, that'd be the first time in a long time that something's won two above the line categories without a picture.
And that's the thing. It's so rare for a screenplay to go to a film not in Best Picture. So I think you just got to predict Honora there, despite the fact that it doesn't have a lot of precursors. All right, adapted screenplay, Conclave. Done. GG. Moving on.
Votes are in. The votes are in. We have a new pope. It is Conclave.
Conclave jokes. Vaping.
Anything.
Tedesco.
Look, Nickel Boys got
Nickel
WGA,
Boys is number
but that's
2.
because Conclave wasn't eligible.
Yeah, and that's what should win. But Conclave's a good winner. It's a good movie. All right, international feature. Have you abandoned ship on Emilia Perez?
Yes, I have.
Same here. Brazil in the house.
I'm still here.
And what's funny is, like, a few months ago, a friend of mine, before all this shit happened with Perez, said, I think I'm Still Here is going to win in national feature. And I was like, you're a fucking idiot. Do you follow this at all? They were right. They were right. Yep. I've had to eat my hat completely. Yep.
I will say is that I think that the film that is, like, outside of I'm Still Here and Emilia Perez, the film that's the most likely to win international feature is Flow. I think more people will have voted for Flow than Seed or Girl.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think. That would be a Flo pulls off the double header, wins both. All right. Yeah, I'm still here. I think it'll win. It got in best, and it's unprecedented. So it'll be interesting to observe for future races because it's the first time two films have been nominated for both Best Picture and International Feature. And it'll be interesting just to see how much the outside noise has affected Emilia Perez, because for a film with 2 nominations to beat a film with 13, unprecedented. It has happened where, like, say something like Pan's Labyrinth with 5 nominations lost this category to a film with less. So, like, it can happen. But again, I truly think without the Carlos Sofia Gascon thing, Emilia Perez would have won this in a landslide.
Landslide. Like the noise about Emilia Perez in terms of like the Mexican backlash and the trans backlash, that happened well before the Globe nominations. And that didn't affect the Globes or like it was still getting all those. But the thing that really tanked it was all the Carlos Sofia Gascon stuff. And then some more stuff that came out about like Jacques Audiard saying that like Spanish was the language of poor people. Yeah, we were like, and I don't know, man.
We are all still really making assumptions here because no one's gone cold on it yet. It's still won international everywhere else. One song everywhere there is songs. Zaldania's one everywhere.
Yeah.
But you know,
it could be Green Book. It could just be like they're like, you know, it's going to take picture and screenplay.
I mean, the guy who wrote Green Book had the like tweets unearthed that were really like Islamophobic and shit. So you know, you never know. But yeah, I think we're all just guessing that it will affect it, but I think it will. And the fact that I'm still here is in Best Picture gives them a reasonable alternative.
Yes. And I think the fact that I'm still here got it. If I'm still here hadn't made Best Picture, I would still be like,
yeah.
Emilia Perez is in Best Picture though, so that's what's winning. But the fact that I'm still here is in Best Picture, I'm like, okay, we've got, and the fact that it got actress, and it's like, okay, like people will like eyes.
And it's a palatable movie as well. Most people will watch that and enjoy it. It's pretty easy. It's a difficult subject matter, but it's an easy watch. It's entertaining. It's you know, it's a fairly traditional biopic in a lot of ways. The best film in that category is The Girl with the Needle, but probably the least likely to win. Moving on.
Nah, I see it in the second pick. But
that's the second favorite for me. Like,
I do love
either of those should win. All right, documentary feature. Now, this is tricky because no Other Land has kind of been penciled in as the winner the whole time, but it's won basically nothing aside from did it win Indie Spirit?
Yes,
I feel like that's it. Which again, good. It
won the
some
IDA,
American support. Yeah,
so it won the International Documentary Association, which I'm a voter of, and it won the Gotham.
Yeah, so I guess
the
that's
independent
a bit of a
but
so there is some support for it in America, but it hasn't won at a lot of the major ceremonies. Not that everyone has a documentary category. And the only other thing that's really shown up as Porcelain War won PGA documentary?
It didn't win PGA, so Superman won PGA.
No, it was not nominated.
Porcelain War won DGA.
That's it.
Director, documentary director. And it was nominated for PGA.
Yeah, Superman won fucking everything, which is
and that's the thing.
Not
like,
help us at all.
Like the reason why No Other Land didn't win stuff is because Superman was nominated. Superman's not nominated here, and so I think No Other Land. The other thing is that No Other Land, yes, it was self-distributed. Like the big thing for No Other Land was getting it nominated, was getting it seen by people as a self-distributed film. Once it was nominated, it was on the awards screening room. It was not like Oscar voters just have had access to it. And so once they've got access to it, they can watch it. And so
there will be voters who probably choose not to watch it.
Yeah.
Based on it being a difficult experience or based on, you know, preconceptions about not wanting to give a voice to Palestine, of which I'm sure there are some people in the Academy who think like that. But, you know, they're fine with graphic war zone movies like 20 Days in Mariupol one, and that movie's
and
I think an even tougher sit.
And that's the
than
thing
this
is that,
one.
like,
but
the fact that Navalny and 20 Days in Mariupol have won in the last couple of years, I would have Porcelain War as the runner-up.
Agree. And that could win.
Yeah, and if anything is going to win over No Other Land, it's Porcelain War. But I'm predicting No Other Land, but with a fair amount of like I could see this not winning.
Yeah, the main reason for that, the biggest asterisk on it, is that I think there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are unwilling to acknowledge what's happening in Palestine. I think that's the only thing that would prevent it from winning. And I really hope it does win, because no one else at that ceremony is going to have the balls to say anything about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I still think it will win. But it's not, it's one of the less certain categories I have here. I'm a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
All right, animated feature. This has developed into a two-horse race between the Wild Robot and Flo, with the Wild Robot sort of wrestling back momentum, I think, toward the end of the season. Now, I guess you could say Wild Robot's your Spider-Verse, Flo's your Boy and the Heron, but Flo didn't win the BAFTA like Boy and the Heron did. But Wallace and Gromit won the BAFTA. Yeah. So, who knows? Flo might have been second there. I think it honestly could have been. But so this is a tricky one. I think most people are sort of defaulting to the Wild Robot now. So I'm picking Flo as another little left field prediction for myself.
I've still gone for the Wild Robot.
Yeah, and again, that's the safe pick for sure.
In the additional fact that unlike Spider-Verse, which only had animated feature, Wild Robot did what Spider-Verse couldn't, which was it got score and it got a tech nom in sound. And so the fact that Wild Robot has 3 noms over Flo, which only has the 2, which is international and thing like.
But still getting into international, which Boy and the Heron couldn't even do.
Boy and the Heron couldn't do nothing. But Flea did it, so like it's been so like. But Flea didn't win over Encanto.
Yeah.
So
Flea filters people. It's too smart for them. Whereas Flo's pretty easy to watch. It fulfills the artsy crowd, but also it's a film that most people will watch and really enjoy and feel moved by.
Yeah. So again, I won't be shocked if Flo wins. I would love if Flo wins. I prefer Flo to the Wild Robot.
Agree.
Like the Wild Robot, I think is actually my least favorite of the 5 nominees.
Wallace and Gromit's probably my least favorite, but Wild Robot would be next. I still liked it a lot. But
I still like it a lot, and I'm really glad that we've kind of got this mixture of kind of like Flo's got this very unique animation style. Then you got Wild Robot Inside Out 2, and then you got stop motion with Wallace and Gromit and Memoir of a Snail.
Which is the best one in the category for the record. But I would love to see Flo win. So again, a bit of hope dicting there again. But again, I feel like we are kind of looking at a slightly new age Oscars. They're definitely at least a little bit more so than the BAFTAs. But it's definitely a closer race than last year's. And I don't even think I predicted Boy and the Heron last year. I think I still stuck with Spider-Verse. So maybe now I'm trying to get ahead of the game with the artsy pick. And Flo, it's been winning stuff. It's done well in the States. It's made money. It won international film with the Indie Spirits, which definitely, again, shows US support for it. But the Wild Robot, probably more likely. But Flo, I'm just going out on a limb and saying it could happen. And so if I nail that and Mikey Madison, I'm going straight to the top, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be. I will be clapping you / cursing you, but that's okay.
What if I get both of those right, but then just fuck the shorts and miss all the shorts? That would be so.
Or you don't get picture, like
like Conclave wins picture.
Conclave wins picture, or I'm still here with something like that. Amelia Perez wins.
No, don't. I'm going to be so angry with every Amelia Perez win, even the obvious ones. All right, cinematography. This has been another one where the precursors have been a bit all over the place. Yeah. But I think this will be the Brutalist.
Yep. I think this will be the Brutalist. When in doubt, trust BAFTA and Tex.
Exactly. And the Oscars went for it more than probably anyone else. Which is also why I think
director is a tech. That's why I've got Brady Corbett. But anyway.
Okay. I'm not quite with you on that one. But
Yeah.
If
anything wins, like over it, maybe Nosferatu
or Maria, which won
Maria.
the ASC.
Maria's got ASC, and it's Edward Lockman, and they like him.
But the thing with Lockman is the people who get him in every year are his friends in the cinematography branch, whereas everyone's voting on this. So he might just be one of those guys who gets nominated every year and doesn't win. Yeah. But I think I'm
so okay with the Brutalist winning. The Brutalist should be winning. The Brutalist is beautiful.
Yeah. I think I'd vote for Nosferatu, but like Brutalist very close, like very.
I mean, I would vote for Dream Part 2, but
yeah.
Greg Fraser the GOAT.
Everyone hates it for some reason.
It's not that they hate it; it's just that they've forgotten about it.
Yeah, I would love to see Nosferatu win at least one Oscar. This might be the most likely, but I do think it's the Brutalist.
Yeah.
All right. Film editing. When in doubt, trust BAFTA and Tex.
Yep.
Conclave, I think. And again, that's not concrete. Precursor, again, have been all over the place. Challenges has won a lot of editing awards and it's not nominated here.
Yeah.
And the film with the most editing, which usually wins, is probably Amelia Perez, which we're kind of writing off in most categories.
Although it does also have the correlating sound nom, but so does Wicked.
Yeah, they could give it to Wicked if they want to be psychopaths.
Yeah.
but Conclave is the best bet here.
Yeah, I think I've actually got I've got Wicked at number 2.
I got a Nora at number 2 just for the best picture-ness of it all.
I think Conclave just makes the most sense out of this lineup. Again, crazy that Doom Part 2 isn't here. A real shame.
Doom Part 2 better than all of these nominees in editing. Both Doom films are so impeccably edited.
Yeah. The other thing is that with Conclave, like the really annoying thing is that for the second year in a row, the ACE Awards, so the Editors Guild, they're happening after the Oscars, so we don't know what's won them before we've gone into the Oscars. But I think Conclave will also probably take the ACE for
they think they're built
drama because Anora
ACE
will take comedy, and so I think Conclave will easily kind of end up with 3 major editing wins, which will be ACE, BAFTA, and Oscar.
Yeah, no, agree. All right, production design. I mean, yeah, Wicked. I think Wicked is winning this. I think it's often you get a sweep in these 2 categories. Poor Things last year. Yeah, and I think I can't even the Brutalist, I guess, is your spoiler, but I just think it's going to be Wicked. Yeah,
it's Wicked. And Wicked will also win costume design.
Yep, onto costume design. Wicked, even more likely to win to the point where I can't even think of what's second. Maybe Nosferatu.
Nosferatu won the critics, the costume designers guild for fantasy.
Yeah.
So, no, not fantasy. Period. It was a period film, even though it's got vampires.
Yeah, I've got Nosferatu runner up in like 3 categories. Like, God, it would be cool if it would jag something, but it's not. It's not likely if it doesn't get cinematography. All right, makeup and hairstyling. The Substance. Easiest, borderline, biggest lock of the night.
Yeah, Substance is taking it, and that's why Demi Moore is going to win actress.
Look, it's a hard stat to bet against.
What was the last film that won makeup that didn't win an acting award?
I don't have a good memory, so I can't help you.
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
And you do have a good memory, so it's probably been a while.
Like Mad Max Fury Road?
Oh, it cannot have been that long.
2015? Because 2016, Revenant won?
Yeah. What won last year? It was Poor Things, yeah.
Last year was Poor Things.
I can't go back through them all. I don't know. What won 2017?
Not Shape of Water.
It wasn't Shape of Water, was it? Yeah.
Shape of Water wasn't nominated, which is stupid.
What the fuck are you doing, Oscars? Anyway, let's not get.
Anyway, we'll go on that.
If you're watching at home.
Yeah. Once we turn the cameras off, we'll go on a little tangent.
All right, visual effects. Now it's finally Dune time. You would hope.
Dune.
I do think you got to look out for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes here.
Better Man. I would. That would be the best thing ever if Better Man won an Oscar. Man.
It should be winning several Oscars. It's incredible.
It's so good.
I think Dune should win this. I think it's objectively the best film here. Like, one of my friends was saying Apes looks better, and I'm like, look, the Apes look great, but like Dune is. I think Dune is the gold standard for what visual effects are right now. There's not a thing in that movie.
The writing scene alone is
not a
incredible.
Thing in that movie that looks fake.
No.
It's like, just give it the fucking Oscar. And the only reason I'm scared that Apes could upset is and don't get me wrong, I'm as upset as anyone that Apes haven't won an Oscar in visual effects yet. They're incredible, but I think Apes could win just if they just decide been there, done that with Dune and decide to give it no awards. But I think if it's getting something, it's got to be this. And which leads us on to sound, which I also think Dune should win.
Same.
I think they could give it to Wicked if they decide that they don't give a fuck about Dune. But
they could give it to A Complete Unknown.
Yeah, which again,
Cinema Audio Society.
Complete Unknown does have very good sound design. I'll give it that.
It won the Cinema Audio Society. Like, it's like, okay, that's
but I'm backing Dune here. I'm backing them to have taste. But it could be Wicked or Complete Unknown.
If Dune doesn't win this, that's silly. It's so silly.
It is silly.
The Academy, what's he doing? You're so silly.
I mean, Dune not winning editing is silly, and it's not even nominated. I don't know what we're doing here.
Dune not being in director again.
All right, yeah, genuinely,
also, Timothée Chalamet is better in Dune Part 2 than A Complete Unknown.
Agree.
I'm not sorry.
And I would vote for Villeneuve in director over anyone nominated, even Baker and Corbet. Like, it's just ridiculous. All right, original score. Another one where the precursors haven't helped us because Challengers was winning everything as it should have. Yeah. But I think this will be The Brutalist.
Same.
It won BAFTA, which you can trust you generally.
Yeah, well, the fact that BAFTA didn't go for Conclave here means that I think Brutalist is very...
I do think Conclave's your runner-up, but I think it would have to be winning Best Picture to even have a sniff at that. Which...
And I think that's what I find interesting is the fact that Brutalist, on its best day, Brutalist wins actor or director, actor, cinematography, score. So that's 4 wins. And Anora might also only win 4. If it gets picture, screenplay, actress, like
I think 4 is like best case for Anora. Like it could win less than that if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasp in my room. That's fine.
But yeah, I think Brutal is good for this and deserving it. You know, it's a very distinct anthem.
Yes.
The score.
Them horns.
Borderline my favorite score of the year besides Queer. But you know, the Oscars hate Reznor and Ross this year. All right, original song. This category is the dumbest Oscar category.
I'm predicting Diane Warren.
I love that for you. I'm still predicting El Mal. Not with the greatest confidence. I do think Diane Warren could win it for sure.
I think enough people have turned on Amelia Perez that when they were looking at their ballots, they went, I don't even know the difference between these 2 songs. I don't care about these songs, but I know who the heck Diane Warren is. Let's just give her the award. Like, honestly, I genuinely think I think this is such a weird race. Like, add to the fact that they're not even doing performances of the songs. Add to the fact that The Journey was used as the in memoriam song at SAG.
That's just Netflix.
But also the thing with The Journey that I think is interesting is that it didn't actually get any of the precursors in terms of Globe Critics' Choice. But it did win twice at the Hollywood Music and Media Awards and the Songwriters Awards. So it actually has won the 2 Guild categories for song.
Look, it's better than the Amelia Perez song, so I'd support it. I am honestly, I think the Amelia Perez voters couldn't even differentiate the 2 songs even when they loved the movie. I think they're just name checking.
No, that's because these are the 2 that were on the ballot and they went, okay, this. But now that they're actually picking a winner, I think Diane Warren is finally going to win.
I mean, El Mal has won stuff. Like it won Globe.
Well, yeah, it won Globe. But that's what I'm saying. But The Journey wasn't nominated to Globe. This is the first time that El Mal is up. Not first time. This is the first time in one of these that El Mal is up against The Journey. El Mal lost to The Journey at the Hollywood Music Awards and the songwriter, the lyricists guild.
It is definitely the best shot Diane Warren's had. I think.
Yeah.
And again, I was thinking more maybe we wait for her to win for one where she finally gets a song in a Best Picture nominee or something. But
she won't go away.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. She's not going to go away when she wins one.
No.
But, you know, is this what she wins for? Based on what the movie is, no. But based on the race, she fucking could.
Yeah,
and this
I would love that to happen. Because I had to watch the 6 Triple Eight, which I personally believe is the worst nominated film this year.
Worse than Amelia Perez.
Worse than Amelia Perez.
Ugh.
And it is so it's just so there. And I feel so vindicated if I watched it in one original song. I'm like, at least it won.
Yep. Yeah, this is another one where at 0 hour I might flip because you've made convincing arguments, but I do still feel good about El Mal, but God, it would be cool. Again, I'm rooting for every Amelia Perez loss that can happen. So, you know, I hope you're right on this one. And I love the pick.
At the moment, I'm only predicting Amelia Perez for supporting actress.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've only got for that in song. So, yeah, I think, pretty good. Man, if Amelia Perez somehow bobs up and wins 4 Oscars, I'm going to be so angry.
I mean, it could bow wrap and get editing and sound.
I swear to God, Michael. All right, let's do the shorts. I haven't watched any of them. You've watched all of them.
I watched all of them.
But, you know, and I think watching can help with predicting these because you know their taste. They like, not always, but they do often like the easily palatable stuff. They don't always go for social issue stuff, but often if you watch a short and think, that was kind of pandering and bad, then it's probably going to win. But I've sort of got a mixture of my thoughts on this. So documentary short, are you going with the best film or the most Oscar baity film? And I think there's a couple options here.
I'm going for the best film,
Incident?
which is Incident.
That is where I'm going as well.
But at number 2, I have The Only Girl in the Orchestra.
That is also my number 2. That is the type of more typical Oscar baity one they would do, and I feel like
I would
you
not be
weren't
shocked.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I would not be shocked if I Am Ready Warden wins.
Yeah, that's the other one that I saw some people saying was really bad, so that could win.
Yeah, like, but I think that it's and then like Death by Numbers is fine. Like I think people will watch it and go, "That's good," but I don't think it's creative enough or like palatable enough or whatever to win.
Now,
and like for like this is such a yucky thing to say. But there just hasn't been like a major school shooting in a while for Death by Numbers to feel like it's a relevant film. Like for voters, the fact that Incident
school shootings have really fallen off.
Yeah, the fact that Incident is about police brutality, which still very much feels like it's in the zeitgeist and overreach, and The Only Girl and racism, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra is about like women's rights and women's issues, and that feels a lot more. And it's the Netflix film, and so it was pushed more and that kind of stuff. Instruments of a Beating Heart is Whiplash with Japanese children. It's a wild time, and I thoroughly liked it.
That sounds good. But Incident I've kind of been rooting for the whole. I haven't seen it, but it just sounds really good. And I think I predicted it number 1 to get nominated. And I don't think you predicted it to get nominated, but like it's the type of thing that if people watch it, everything I've heard about it is that it's incredible. So that's the one category where I'm really backing that in to win. Animated short. I feel like most people seem to be galvanizing around Wonder to Wonder, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing also. But Yuck feels like the other one that could maybe do it.
I'm actually predicting In the Shadow of the Cypress.
Oh, all right. That's probably my next option at third. Having seen them, what's your case for Shadow of the Cypress?
Shadow of the Cypress is the best made one. It's the most impactful. It's very symbolic. And I think it's the one that if voters have watched it, they're going to go, that's the one that kind of sticks in mind, both visually and thematically. Yuck is really cute and really fun, but I also think it's then when you like in the Shadow of the Cypress, I think it just hits a little bit deeper. Wonder to Wonder is wacky.
I've heard it's wild. Weird.
It's so dark.
But it won the BAFTA for British Short.
But that's because they only have 3 nominees, and of course it was going to win the BAFTA because it's the British Short. Whereas like in this, it's up against, like In the Shadow of the Cypress is Iranian, Yuck is French, Magic Candies is Japanese, and Beautiful Men is Belgian. Like far more, whereas the British is for a British Short. Wonder to Wonder is like an episode of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared on steroids.
I should watch this. That
it is
awesome.
It is nuts, and I love, and Toby Jones is in it. But yeah,
so
like I've got one.
I haven't seen anyone else predicting that, so that's. I hope that comes off for you. But I also hope
I've got In the Shadow of the
right.
Cypress at number 1, Wonder to Wonder at 2, Yuck at 3, Magic Candies at 4, and Beautiful Men at 5. Beautiful Men isn't bad. It's just kind of sad and like doesn't go anywhere. But what's wild is that in both Wonder to Wonder and Beautiful Men, which are both stop motion, you get stop motion dong hanging.
I'm into that.
And yet Magic Candies, which features a character named Dong Dong, does not have dong.
I saw you bring this up in the group chat. Yeah. We get it, Mikey. You've seen the shorts. What's your favorite of this lineup, this category?
In the Shadow of the Cypress.
Yeah, okay. Hey, look, you're not above hope dicting either, like me. No. So you love to see it. All right, the last category, live action short. I almost feel like this is the one I'm most confident in, and I'm going with Alien.
I've gone for The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent.
That's my number 2. And again, I feel like this is sort of The Man Cannot Remain Silent feels like the incident of this category, the one that sounds the most acclaimed and important. But Alien also quite relevant. Very relevant. Palatable, and it does feel like
edited like a Safdie brothers film. It is intense.
Yeah, right. So it sounds like that might be the more crowd pleasery one of the two.
Yeah,
but it's close. I think it could go either way.
If we're going to go crowd pleasers, Anuja or The Last Ranger are more crowd pleasing.
I don't think they'll win.
But I don't think Anuja has Netflix behind it. Anuja and The Last Ranger, like, so the thing with shorts, just to go on a random tangent. The thing with shorts is they either end up being a proof of concept for a longer story, or they end up being really, really on the nose and they beat you over the head with an unsubtle, shallow stick.
Because they don't have very long to
build
their message out.
And occasionally you get one that is actually, no, this couldn't have been longer. You used your time exactly, but you also didn't beat us over the head with a stick. That's what The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent is. The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent is just a perfect short film.
But are they really going to pick the best film in 2 categories?
No. Which is why I think that Alien would make sense as a winner. The other one that's really good, that I really enjoy, I'm Not a Robot, is a lot of fun. It's on YouTube. Check it out. It's like a Black Mirror style short.
I might actually go watch Incident right after we film this video.
But I'm Not a Robot won't win. So,
it's free on YouTube, isn't it? Incident?
Yeah, Incident's free on YouTube. Instruments of a Beating Heart is free on YouTube. I'm Not a Robot is free on YouTube. And then all of the other shorts you can either find on streaming, you could rent on Vimeo. The only one that's not available anywhere is
passwords. I'm joking. He wouldn't do that. All right. So, yeah, Man Who Could Not Remain Silent for you, Alien for me. So the shorts could be where Mikey and I are separated in terms of who gets the most right, but we also differ on, the Mikey Madison and Flo type situations. But, yeah, it's interesting. And again, I might change a couple of these toward the end. Like, you got me sweating on things like director and song, but...
Diane Warren, let's go.
But I am fully backing in Mikey Madison just so I can... because I like being right against you in Best Actress. So
if you get the back-to-back, I'll be impressed.
It's like call me the king.
Did you have Yo or Blanchett in 2022?
Yo.
Yeah, I had Yo as well.
Yeah. Yo. That felt a lot more locked than this does from my perspective.
Because Everything Ever All at Once was far more likely when pictured than Tar ever was.
Exactly. But that's another video. Thank you very much for watching this. Very soon I will be having my best films of the year video, which is a video I love doing every year because I've finally seen everything I needed to see. Nickel Boys dropped in Australia yesterday on Prime because Amazon hates cinema. But the film was still incredible all the same. So that'll happen. I don't think I'm going to do an Oscar reaction. I'd rather just sort of enjoy the day. But I'll be posting about it a lot on social media. So follow me on Instagram at Jacob Watches Films if you want to see what I'm up to with all the movie bullshit. Mikey, where can the people find you? Thanks again for joining me today.
Yeah, you can find me on Movie Mike Reviews on Instagram. You can find me at Movie Mike 113 on Letterboxd. And then on those places, I tend to share all the other links to things. And I'm also on the Film Draft occasionally as the unofficial 3rd to 4th co-host. So go and listen to the Film Draft. I haven't been on for a while. They've got other guests, which is quite refreshing. I've enjoyed listening to the sound of my own voice.
It's only been like 3 episodes. That is a while in Mikey Film Draft time, I guess.
It is. So I'm rearing for a comeback. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there'll be an episode hopefully soon on best films of last year. So get keen for that
and Mikey will be on it because he co-won last year's edition. I'm keen to lose again because all my favorites of the year are fucking pretentious shit no one likes.
Queer, The Beast, Black Dog. Let's go.
Nickel Boys even, I think.
No. I will fight you for Nickel Boys.
No, but like everyone, like Jaron and Blake, and they didn't like it as much because they don't understand cinema. Jaron, if you're watching this, I love you. Blake, not so much. No, I'm kidding. I love you too.
I mean, Blake's openly a racist. We know these things.
Going back to the Detroit days. Thanks for coming to this Inside Baseball jokes of our friend group. And yeah, check out the podcast. It's great. This week we had a Blumhouse episode, which was a lot of fun. And next week it's going to be fucking Willem Dafoe movies, which is an exciting one. So definitely tune in. That's going to be a good one. Yeah. All right. Happy Oscars. Have a good day.